Chess.com's Opening Explorer is an extremely powerful tool for improving your opening play. I've used it myself a great deal on my own journey to 2100 Rapid, and in this video I'm going to share with you exactly how to use this tool. My name's Nathan Rose. I'm the author of the two books you can see behind me on the bookshelf there, Chess Opening Names Volume 1 and Volume 2, and I'm also an enthusiastic adult improver. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do so. I do all kinds of content around chess, including tips on how to use various tools, advice on how to improve your game, and reviewing master games so that we can all become better players and, more importantly, enjoy the game more. So onto the tool. The first thing to note about the Opening Explorer is that it is one of Chess.com's premium features. So if you're on the free account, then you won't have much access to it. I'm just going to load up what it looks like when you're on the free account. You'll get to a screen like this one. You get to about 4 moves in, and then you'll have this button, Upgrade to Unlock Explorer. So Chess.com is a business. They have to make money, and one way they make money is by keeping some of the features just for those who subscribe to the paid service. This is one of them. I think it's worth getting. If you're serious about improving your game, it's very helpful, as you'll see. And if you do want to upgrade, I've got a link which you can see in the description below. And if you use my link, then you'll help support the channel and also unlock all the features that come with the Opening Explorer and plenty more. So let me just show you what it looks like on the other side of the paywall before you decide to upgrade. You get the list of moves with different percentages based on the results for white and black. So you could see that in the starting position it's saying that among master players, 1e4 is the most common move, and it results in 39% of the time white winning, 29% of the time a draw, and 33% of the time black winning. And these numbers update as moves are made on the board. So let's just put a few moves out there and see these numbers updating. And you can see that once you're a few moves in, it becomes useful. Like you can begin to think, okay, the move knight g e7 actually scores quite well for black. So that might be worth investigating a little bit more. This is the main use of the Opening Explorer under Master Games. This drop down here, we've got 3 options: Master Games, My Games, and Other Players. We'll come to the other 2 in a moment, but under Master Games, you're mainly looking for moves which are performing well. So you've got the engine evaluation here. That's one thing, that's what the computer thinks of it, but it can be a little different as to how humans are playing the position. Sometimes they don't quite match. Sometimes a position which the engine likes, a human finds quite hard to play, and vice versa. I'll show you an example from some opening preparation I was doing a while back. So it was a variation of the Sicilian defense with the black pieces, where white plays a recapture on d4 with the queen, inviting the natural knight c6, developing with tempo. But then white goes back, and the idea that white has is to play b3, bishop, b2, and castle queenside. This is known as the Magnus Sicilian, named after Magnus Carlsen. And as I was looking at this, after e6, and then white continuing with their plan, I saw the following move in the Opening Explorer. It's this move here, 6d5. So 6d5 would actually sacrifice a pawn, because white can take and be a pawn up, right? After those trades on d5. But yet d5 performs well for black. So it was through the Opening Explorer that I was able to notice this, and I did a little bit more investigation, and I actually came to really like this line. The point is that black can cause white some trouble on the e file. You can give this check, queen e7 check. Looks strange, but let's say that white tries to go for the queen trade, very natural, right, being a pawn up. Well, then black can play this move, bishop f5. The queen can't take the bishop because of the pin. And if white does trade queens, then black's got this pressure on c2. Black's a bit better developed. If white goes with bishop b2, then black can consider bishop b4. And yeah, this all came from seeing that move in the Opening Explorer, which highlighted that this was a possibility. And if you look at the engine evaluation in this position as well, white is only very slightly better, plus 0.2. And given that white has an extra pawn, it's showing that black has some positional compensation. So, finding interesting ideas in the opening, that's one great use of the Opening Explorer. If we just go back a few moves, we'll be able to see that the Opening Explorer also comes with its own game database. So after the move d5, you can see all these games which have been played at master level, and you can select any of the ones that you want, and then add them to a file, and then click here to download them. So this is very helpful if you want to see how the game continued. And that's a great way to not only learn the opening moves, but also the thematic middle game ideas. Learn from the top players in the world and take their ideas and use them for yourself in your own games. So that's the master games part of the Opening Explorer. Now let's move on to My Games. When you've got My Games selected, it's going to show you all the games that you've played on chess.com summarized statistically. So you can see that for me, I almost always start the game with 1e4, and that's reflected in the statistics. The number of 1e4 games is a lot higher than any of the others. You can choose to filter it by daily, rapid, blitz or bullet. So let's do that. Let's filter it by rapid, because these are going to be games which are slower and which I'm taking more seriously. And let's switch to black. So let's look at what happens when I've got the black pieces. When white plays 1e4 and I respond with the Sicilian defense, we can see that I'm performing quite well when white plays the move knight f3, the open Sicilian. I'm winning 49% of the time, whereas white's winning just 39% of the time. Same with knight c3. My results there are pretty good too. I'm winning 46% of the time versus white winning 45% of the time, which is not bad given that I've got the black pieces. Any edge is good there. But on the other hand, the move 1c3, the Alapin variation, is giving me some trouble. You can see that I'm winning just 40% of the time there, while white is winning 48% of the time. So that's a signal, an insight that the Opening Explorer has given me, that I need to either consider a change in my repertoire when facing the Alapin variation, or I need to take the repertoire I've already got and work harder to understand it more strongly so as to improve my results. The final feature I want to show is the last one on the drop-down box, Other Players. So you can type in any chess.com username and see what their games are, right? What their view is. The same as what we just saw with My Games, but I can pick any user and get their view. And this is particularly useful when you're doing tournament preparation. A big part of tournament chess played under classical time controls is the preparation element. You'll often be told who your next opponent is the day before you play them. So you've got all that time, right up until your game, to try to find your opponent's past games, what they're likely to play in the opening, and prepare accordingly. And they're going to be doing the same for you. So one way that you can try and find past games from your opponent is on ChessBase. But not every player has a ChessBase profile, particularly below master level. It can be hard to find games if you're just looking on ChessBase for everybody. But sometimes you can find a chess.com profile from them, and that can be just as good. So I've got an example here actually based on a classical tournament I played a few months back. I was due to play this player, named Yilin Lee. And I could find her profile on chess.com, the cat dog lady. So all I do is I take that username, go to the Opening Explorer, type it in here. I was going to have the white pieces actually in this game, so I wanted to see what she was going to do with black, and actually I planned for a change to play d4. So if we just look at the Opening Explorer, against 1d4, based on her chess.com profile, she almost always plays back d5. And already that information alone is very useful. Just knowing that I can expect d5 instead of knight f6, right? It means that I don't have to worry about preparing for the Nimzo Indian, King's Indian. I can just concentrate solely on symmetrical queen's pawn opening. And then we can continue on the line. Like if I play c4, then what does she do? And again, pretty clearly, she almost always plays e6. So I can continue preparing on that assumption. After knight c3, which is my normal continuation, she plays knight f6. So you can see that I'm getting closer and closer to a picture of how my game is likely to unfold, all through using chess.com's Opening Explorer. And when we sat down to play, the first few moves played out exactly as chess.com's Opening Explorer had predicted. So I got a comfortable game because I'd looked at the right lines in the morning, all thanks to studying my opponent with the help of this tool. So that's all I really wanted to show you. There's some very powerful features within the Opening Explorer, as I've shown. Remember, it is a paid feature of the site, so if you don't have a premium membership, you will need to get one if you want to get the full range of functionality out of the Opening Explorer. If you don't already have a premium subscription to chess.com, I do have a link in the description below, and if you use that link, it'll help support me and the videos that I create. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, do drop a like down below, drop a comment as well, let me know what you thought, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That's all for me then. This is Nathan Rose, and bye for now.